Hello students. So in today's topic, competitive class we are doing today. So in that one, today's topic is P04. So in P04, the things that means what and all we are going to discuss is all about the topics you can see here: system of particles and rotational motion. And in the previous concept, what we have discussed, and that is initially I have started with what is that? Yeah, of course, units and measurement. Thereafter, it was motion in a straight line as well as motion in a plane, right? And thereafter, work energy concept as well as force concept, free diagram, all those we have discussed. And you can see there in that motion in a plane, the last topic was that it is circular motion concept. So to make that concept more, that means a more detailed one, I have just left that circular motion concept in that motion in a plane or motion in two dimension chapter. I have included that here. That means we are dealing with system of particles and rotational motion, including circular motion. Okay, that means they are closely related. That means circular motion as well as rotational motions are closely related. That is why here we are going to discuss. And the question paper of 30 questions is already been given to you people through the PDF file. And to utilize this, what you are supposed to do, you know already. Write on all the questions, leaving some space, work it out there. If you don't know, means leave some space there, so that when we discuss all that here, you will be getting the answers. So till now P03 we have completed. P04 we are going to start today. Okay, so let us start with the questions. So I read the question. Hope you people are having these questions in your notes. So while watching this video, look at the notes where you have written the questions and you tried working out and left space. And by reading and solve, so that will be more and more effective for you. So let us begin. So question number 1. So question says, for a particle in a circular motion, that means a uniform circular motion, the acceleration A at a point. So a particle is under circular motion now. Okay, first one, particle under circular motion, uniform circular motion, acceleration A at a point they have given. And we know circular motion means, of course, acceleration is always towards what? The center. What is that? Centripetal acceleration, AC. I think it is visible for you people. And next, at a point P, r comma theta they have mentioned, correct? Like this. On the circle of radius r, here theta is measured from x-axis. So what I do is, I will take axes like this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. And theta is measured from x-axis, it is given. So that is why theta is measured from x-axis. That is why theta is taken here. You can see there. If theta is taken from y-axis means, of course, you know, this will be coming here. Now theta is taken as measured from what? X-axis. That is why theta is, instead of writing here, we have written here. So now what we are supposed to do? So options they have given, okay. There we are going to just find out what is the centripetal acceleration here. Options you can see there. General formula for acceleration, you might be knowing. What is the formula for acceleration? Generally it is actually what? A equal to v square by r. In circular motion we have discussed, correct, on a plane circular motion. So right now in this question, it is slightly complicated. Why? Because we have to give the position of that particular point exactly with the Cartesian coordinate system in three-dimensional space. Okay, but here it is xy, only two dimension, along with the unit vectors. So how to understand this? So what I do is, I will just start with what is centripetal acceleration, AC. Okay, I'll write down here like this. So general expression I know, A equal to v square by r. That means acceleration, centripetal acceleration equal to linear velocity square divided by radius of that. But here, whether we can write directly like that? No. Problem is, it has got some angle which is subtended. So this one what I can write? This one we can write in terms of what? This is the adjacent side. This is opposite side. Correct? So what I write is this can be the sum of adjacent side. That means horizontal component and vertical component as well. So what is horizontal component? AC cos theta, correct? AC cos theta on x-axis. That means total acceleration equal to acceleration along x direction, acceleration along y direction. Okay, plus I will write. Next, AC sin theta along y direction. Now, that means this acceleration is usually like towards this one. No, if you take this one as a resultant, if you split that into components, this becomes adjacent side, this becomes opposite side. So this is AC cos theta. I can write here AC cos theta. This becomes AC sin theta, like this. Okay, AC cos theta, it is AC sin theta, direction of xy. But problem is whether we are having that in exact directions. No, it is directed in left side. That means minus x direction. That is why minus I cap. What about this one now? Downward. That is downward direction. That is also minus j cap. If this was here means, what would I have got? Y component in positive direction. X component in, yes, of course, like this, here or here, like this, in positive direction. That time it would have become slightly different. Right now I think you understood this. I am finding out the net acceleration by including the components. Vector addition. This one and this one, like this I got. So next what we can write here. So we know that what is AC according to the general formula. Radius is R, capital R. General formula is small r I have written. Okay. So I will write V square by R into cos theta minus I, like this. So minus I will take. So cos theta I cap. Next what else is there? AC V square by R sin theta j cap. So this is what I get. Now you can check there. Is there any option is there which is similar to that of the answer what we got now? And of course that is option is D. So option D consists the same answer. So I think this is clear for you people. It's actually regarding the rotational motion concept, but it is not a direct question. Here knowledge of vector we have substituted. They are asking, okay, what is the net acceleration? Total acceleration is how much? Just equation is like this. Suppose we just write on this one, that is also answer. But whether they have given the importance for the components when it is being splitted into vectors? No. That is why we have taken like this. Okay, acceleration direction and split it into components. Adding those two in the directions. Here it is minus I cap y because it is directed in the reverse x direction. Here minus j cap y because it is directed in the reverse y direction. So finally we got this. So I think this is clear for you people. So let me go for question number 2. So question number 2, I read that. Radius of a blade of a fan. Of course fan, it is familiar for you. And fan is 0.30, it is given. So radius of the fan, okay, it is 0.30 meter. It's making 1200 revolution per minute. That means RPM is equal to how much 1200. Okay, number of rotations it is doing. How much RPM? Okay, that means revolution per minute is mentioned there, or just generally I am writing, or directly you can write number of, that is 1200 RPM. This is given there. Okay. How much revolution per minute? 1200. So number of revolution per, that is capital N, is equal to 1200 RPM. Okay. Next, what else is there? Yes, then they have mentioned the acceleration of the particle at the tip of the blade is. So fan means, of course, blades will be there like this. At the tip, point P, at the tip. Okay. Such fan is there per minute 1200 rotations, okay, that means in the axis, but we say if you take a particle here, it is revolving, right? That is why a revolution per minute we say, that is it. So how many revolutions in 1 minute? 1200 revolution per minute. Okay, then what they're asking, what is the acceleration at the tip here? Okay, so now revolution is there. So right now per minute, right? So how to understand this? So what are the formulas which are basically there, okay, to understand this? So right now, that means rotational motion or circular motion it is. So circular motion means, yes, we have got set of formulas there. So what is that formula? Let us find out angular velocity. That is 2 pi n by 60. Why? Because per minute. Per hour means 60 into 60. Per second means no 60. No divided by 60, okay? So this means how much it is? 2 pi into 1200 divided by 60. So while substituting, the answer what we are going to get is, that is 40 pi radian per second you have to get. So angular velocity we got, or angular frequency we got. So what we are supposed to find out here? Acceleration. So acceleration is equal to centripetal acceleration. What is that? Omega square r. You might be remembering the formula, okay? Centripetal acceleration is omega square r. So what is omega now? Yes, let us find out. So AC equal to 40 pi square into radius. How much is the radius? That is 0.30. So when you start substituting this, so how much you are supposed to get, you have to calculate. So options you can see there, and answer will be 4740. After substituting 4740 meter per second you are going to get. So that is about the question number 2. It's not difficult kind. What you are supposed to do is first write down the given data, then just think about the formulas which you have studied in this topic, and just go on applying that. Look at the options which are given, okay? That will give you the hint. That means in what manner you are supposed to find out the answer, whether it is numerical value or is equation type, something like that. So here it is numerical value, so we got the answer at the end. That is 4740. So let us go for the question number 3. Question number 3 looks very simple, but careful observation is required. Let us see what is that. Which of the following statement is false for the particle moving in a circle with the constant angular speed? Particle is moving. Constant angular speed. Okay? Center of this circular path. We know constant angular speed means like this. Correct? And what and all things we know from this? This is acceleration, centripetal acceleration towards this one. And tangent, linear velocity is tangent. Okay. Next let us see. But direction of this velocity changes continuously. Because of that one, there will be acceleration towards the center. That is called centripetal acceleration. Correct? Let us see. Now, question is, which of the following statement is false for the particle moving in a circle with the constant angular speed? Option A, the velocity vector is tangent to the circle. Look at there, velocity vector is tangent to the circle. Tangent, correct. Whether it is fixed direction, no. It can continuously change. Here like this, here like this, here like this. The acceleration vector is tangent to the circle. Yes, of course. What is that? Linear acceleration is like this. Correct? That means centripetal acceleration is there. And what about the angular acceleration? In that case, okay, because this particle continuously changes direction, right? So centripetal acceleration will be there towards the center. And next, let us see. Acceleration vector points to the center of the circle. Okay. The acceleration point to the center of the circle, correct? Velocity of the acceleration vector are perpendicular to each other. Velocity, acceleration, perpendicular to each other. That is also correct. What about the third option now? The acceleration vector points to the center of the circle. That is correct. What about second one? The acceleration vector is tangent to the circle. So acceleration, look at there. Acceleration vector is tangent to the circle, which is not possible, right? Because just acceleration vector it is mentioned there. Acceleration vector. So what we can say from that? Yes, of course. So velocities, of course, continuous changes in all direction, but always tangent, linear velocity. Angular velocity, of course, this is angular velocity. Angular acceleration, not mentioned here. Just linear acceleration, that is centripetal acceleration, they are always related to towards the center, we know. So answer is, which one is false here? That is option number B is wrong. So that is the answer. Question number 3 over. Let us go for question number 4. I think this is clear for you people. One by one you draw, then automatically you will come to know, yes, how to understand this. So which one is false there? That is option number B is false. So let us go for the question number 4 now. So question number 4, question is about a car, okay? Car is taking turn on a circular path of radius r. So a road is there like this. Car is going circular path, radius r, like this. If the coefficient of friction between tires and road is mu, coefficient of friction frictional coefficient or coefficient of friction is mu, it is given. Maximum velocity for no slipping is, so Vmax equal to how much you have to find out. And you might be knowing this is actually rotational motion. So if rotational motion in the sense centripetal force is there, right? If it is lesser than or equal to that, okay, which one, what is that? The frictional force means then no slipping takes place. Correct. If what is that? Friction, that means centripetal force is very much higher, in the sense exactly opposite what will be there, centrifugal force, right? That time what happens? Automatically car will be drifted. That means the car will be skidded and it may go fall down. That is why, what is that? Centripetal force mv square by r always should be less than or equal to yes, frictional force. What is that? Mu into n or mu mg. Correct? Frictional force. Next, what we can write? There is a standard formula, right? What is the standard formula actually? Standard formula, maximum velocity of a moving car on a curved level road is mu rg. A derivation is there for this in board syllabus. Mu rg, where what is mu? Coefficient of static friction. What is r? Yes, g. And then our answer, it is not mentioned exactly like this. It is actually given in terms of 10 power 1 by 2. So which is the option there? Option is C. So answer is C. I think this is clear for you. Okay. So that is about the question number 4. So question number 4 is over. Let us go for question number 5. What question number 5 says? Let us have a look here, okay? So question number 5 is a coin placed on a rotating turnable slips. So slips it is mentioned. I will just take, for example, in dining table you might be knowing, old-fashioned dining table. There will be a rotatable kind of a small segment will be there or arrangement will be there. So suppose you keep any kind of food there on the dining table, it will be in circular shape, okay? You can rotate that and you can take whatever you want, right? So like that, just imagine such kind of object it is, okay? I am keeping like this. Now, when it is placed at a distance of 9 centimeter from the center, that means on this a coin is kept at a distance of 9 centimeter. Coin, this is the coin, okay? Coin is kept on that. and it rotates the whole segment. This okay, like this. The coin is kept at a distance of, when placed at a distance 9 centimeter from the center, if the angular velocity of the turntable is tripled. So right now it is like this. So omega dash is what? 3 times omega. That means right now it is tripled. 3 times it has increased. Okay. It will just slip. Which one? That particular coin will slip. In which way? That way. So right now it is rotating like this. No, if it is suddenly made 3 times means coil won't be here. Slightly it will move away. So how much distance this is moving? That is what they are asking now. Okay. So I will take initial radius for the point as r1. After tripling the angular velocity, the coin has moved slightly away. Okay. Like this. So that is what we are supposed to find out. Understanding? Now new radius r2. So the distance from the center is, they are asking. That means if its distance from the center is what they are going to ask, let us see. So a coin is placed on the rotating turntable slips. When it is placed at a distance of 9 centimeter from the center, okay, when it is placed at 9 centimeter from the center, right now on turntable slip it is placed, right? If the angular velocity of the turntable slips is tripled, it will just slip, it is mentioned. If the distance from the center is, let us see. So what they are asking, I think it is clear for you. Now right now it is here r1 distance, it was rotating. Now it has to slip means, right now distance I have shown like this, but in equation while solving, I will just take a point like this. In a sense, I don't know where I am supposed to keep this so that it will slip. So if suppose right now it is omega, this is 3 omega, revolving like this. So we have to find out a distance from the center where if you triple this speed, it will start slipping, or else it won't slip. That is what the question. Okay, it is not like we have to find out after 9 centimeter when it's find the radius. It is not given like that. It is given you have to find out a radius, then it will start slipping. So for this, in the given date, that means in the question, what you can understand is, we know force equal to mass into acceleration, correct? What kind of force that will support here? That means frictional force will support. So frictional force will be supporting, right? M into A. So who will support this coin to hold back? That is centripetal acceleration, like this. If frictional force on this sand coin and mass into centripetal accelerations are equal means, then it will be at the stationary position. Which one? The coin. The coin will be in the stationary positions. So what is this now? Fs means what? Mu into N into G or mg I will write down like this. Okay. Next, m into omega square r, correct? Do you know this one, this formula? Also written as omega square r, correct? Centripetal acceleration is also equivalent to square of angular velocity and product of, that is into, yes. So now what they are doing, they are just is telling that you are just made to rotate that, correct? So here this particular m1 omega square r is there, right? Here r1 I will write initially, right? So next is equal to, look at it, nu mg. Just about to slip means it is a final, that is limiting friction. So here somewhere in one particular position we have kept. We don't know from very near, yeah, of course very near, but it has to be slipped. So initially and finally the frictional force on the coin, because of this rotatable, okay, this particular thing is there, it is one and the same, right? That is why m omega 2 square r2 should be, they should be equivalent. Why? Because they are equivalent to frictional force. That is why. So now what I do, I'll just do some substitutions like this. What are the substitutions it's able to do here? That is r2 by r1 equal to, yes, what we can do, r2 by r1, yes, that is omega 1 by omega 2 whole square is there. And what is omega 1? Just omega. Omega 2 means I know, right? That means I told you people, that is, what is that? Omega 2 means 3 times. So 3 omega, it's a square. So how much we get? This is 1 by 9. 1 by 9 we get. So r2 by r1 is 1 by 9, correct? But r1 you people know how much is that? 9 centimeter already given. So r2 will be 9 by 9 equal to 1 centimeter. So I rewrite once again clearly here. So r2 by r1 is how much? 1 by 9. But r1 is how much? 9 centimeter. So r2 equal to 1 centimeter we get. So option is which one? Option is, yes, of course, that is option D. Hope this is clear for you. And this is all about the question number 5. Take down this one. What is that? Substitutions clearly. All the formulas, required formulas. Okay, in detail it is written on the board. Okay, so let us go for question number 6. Question number 6 is, a car of mass 1000 kg is negotiating a banked curve. That means banked curve, you know, right? Banked road, all those. A car is there like this and with some particular angle, okay? So how much is that? Angle is 45 degree. 45 degree it is given. Curve of radius, that means r equal to how much? 90 meter. Theta equal to 45 degree they have given. On a frictionless road, if the banking angle is the speed of the car is, that means you are supposed to find out V is equal to how much? Theta is given. You might be remembering there is a direct formula is there. What is that? Tan theta equal to V square by, yes, what is that? R into G. So we want to find out V. So what is theta? We know tan 45 degree equal to V square divided by R. R is how much? 90 into G is how much? 10. Direct formula it is this one on a banked road, okay? Because frictionless it is, that is why I have directly written like this, okay? So V is equal to, what is the answer you are supposed to get is, after substitutions, you are going to get 30 meter per second. Check your answers. So this is how we can solve. Which one? Question number 6. This is the substitution. What is the formula we require? Tan theta equal to V square by Rg. Theta is given, radius is given, everything is mentioned. So like this we got to know. Okay. So write down this neatly. And next is question number 7. Okay, question number 7 we'll discuss.